Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is our lecture number 17 of our course Object-Oriented Programming for class BSSC second. In this class, we will discuss some important points regarding inheritance. What are the important points regarding inheritance which we have to remember when we inherit a base class or when we create a derived class from a base class? Important points regarding inheritance. Point number 1: a derived class inherits all the capability of the base class but can add new feature of its own. By making these additions, the base class remains unchanged. Previously we have discussed about inheritance. What was inheritance actually? Here this slide belongs to our previous lecture number 16. What is inheritance? Suppose a child inherits some characteristics from its parent, that is father. Father has the following characteristics. The caste of the father may be Awan, Pathan, or Jadoon, Baloch, वगैरह, etc. It has certain property. Father may have some kind of disease. Its color may be red, white, blue, black, etc. It has some kind of language according to its locality. These are the characteristics of a parent. Child inherits the following characteristics from his father. All these characteristics. The caste of the father is the caste of the child. The child have a reasonable share in the property of the father, and also there may be inherited disease in a child which also belongs to his father. It may have the same color as that of his father, skin color. Similarly, the language, which kind of language his father speaks, he will also speak the same language, so it is inherited in it. His own characteristics, that is education. Maybe his father is a doctor, maybe his father is a businessman, and the child education is engineer. He is engineer. Also, he can earn some extra wealth other than the property of his father. He can earn some other kind of wealth, and he can create his bank balance. These are the own characteristics, its own characteristics, the child own characteristics. So when a child inherits some characteristic from his father, it can add its own characteristics, and this becomes the personality of the child. That is, new class is much more better than the old class because it has maximum characteristics than the base class. This was an example of the inheritance. That is, what is inheritance? Likewise, if a child earns more and more wealth, this wealth does not affect the property of its father, or similarly its education does not shares in the education of its father. That is, the base class remains changed by doing these modifications in the child class. So we continue our points regarding inheritance. A derived class inherits all the capabilities that is characteristics of the base class, and can add new features of its own. It can create new features or new characteristics of its own. By making these addition, the base class remains changed. That is, by making these additions, the effect of this addition does not change the base class characteristics or base class functionality. Point B, protected members. There may be public, private, and also protected members in the base class. Protected members have just like private members. Protected and private members have same kinds of access specification until a new class is derived from the base class and has protected member of the base class. If a base class has three kinds of members, that is private members, protected members, and public members, then the public and the private and the protected members will behave same for the object of that class, but the protected members give some relaxation for derived class until a new class is derived from the base class that has protected member of the base class. That is, derived class can access the protected member of the base class. If a base class that has private members, there are some private members in the base class, those members are not accessible to the derived class. Derived class cannot access those private members. Private members can only be accessed within the class which contains those members. So private members cannot be accessed outside the class boundary. Even in they cannot be accessed in the main program. They cannot be accessed in the derived class. Protected members are public to the derived classes but private to the rest of the program. Now the protected members have some relaxation for derived class. They behave just like public with the derived class. That is, derived class can access the protected members, but these protected members are behave just like private members with the rest of the program, that is main program or some other functions, common function. D, access specifier. There are three kinds of access specifiers: the public, the private, and the protected. But we can derive a class either from the base class either publicly or privately. So if we derived a class publicly, then how much access the base class will give to derived class and the object of the derived class. And if we derived a base class privately, if we privately derived a base class with the if we derived a class from the base class privately, then those members, how much access of the base class members, how much the derived class can access the base class members, and how much the object of the derived class will access the base class members. This is explained in this point. A derived class can specify that a base class is public or private. When we connect a base class with the derived class, then base class may be publicly derived or privately derived by using the following notations in the declaration of the derived class. Derived class, during the definition of derived class, we declare like this. Let's first C is the derived class and B is the base class. Then class C, we are defining C class and we are connecting it with the base class either publicly or privately. Public B. Now the C class is derived with the base class publicly. Here another scenario is we are connecting or we are deriving the base class privately. Class A, private B. Here class A is derived from the base class B privately. The public access specifiers means that protected members of the base class are protected member of the derived class. It means if there are protected member in the base class, all those members will become the protected member of the derived class, and the public member of the base class are the public member of the derived class. Similarly, all the members of public member of base class will become the public member of the derived class, that is object of the derived class can access those members either of of its own class, derived class, or the base class. The private access specifier, what does this line mean? The private access specifiers means that protected and the public members of the base class are private member of the derived class. When we derived a base class, when we derived a class from a base class privately, all the members of the base class becomes the private member of the derived class. It means those members can be accessed within the block of the derived class, but the object of that derived class cannot access those members of the base class. Following figure shows the access capacity of the access specifier, that is public/private. In the figure we will see the first scenario, this class C public B and class A private B. You may see it here. This is our base class. Class A is our base class. Class B is our derived class, which is publicly derived from A, and class C is our another derived class which is privately derived from A. A is base class. So we are creating a C class and privately connecting base class A. Here we are creating a B class and publicly connecting with A. So this is our base class. This base class has three sections: private, protected, and public. And this we can create the object of this class. Class name A, object A. This is the object. This is the object of this class, and each and every class object can access to the public section of its own class. This is class B derived with A publicly, and it has its own private, protected, and public section. The class B has its object name object B, and this is the object of B class. This object A have access to its own class public section, while this object B of B class have access to the public section of its own class and also have access to the public section of its base class, because base class is publicly derived with our derived class B, with our class B. Here we have class C and derived with class A privately. So class C, the object C is, this is the object of class C, and this object have access to its public section, because we have already said that each and every object of a class have access to its public section. But because it is privately derived with A, so this object have no access to the public section of its base class. It cannot directly access, but indirectly within the class it can access. It will access the function of its own class, and those function will access the base class characteristics or base class member. This scenario can be explained with a program code Here, before going to the program coding, there are some other points regarding inheritance. Firstly, we discuss that those points, and then we will explain this figure with the help of program coding. Point number E, when we define an object of a derived class like this. This is B is derived class, and object B is the object of this derived class. C is a derived class, and object C is the object of this derived class. When we define an object of a derived class, the compiler executes the constructor function of the base class followed by the construction function of the derived class. There may be the constructor function in the base class, there may be the construction function in the derived class, but the object of the derived class will firstly search for the data initialization in the base class constructor, and then it will execute its own class constructor. But for the common member functions, it is not true. In the common member function, the object will access when the base class and the derived class have public member functions with same name and parameter list type. The function of the derived class gets a priority. Here, the common member functions, the object of the derived class will access its own class function first, and then if there is not a function with the same name, then it will go to the base class and will access the function of the base class. But if both the classes have the function with the same name, that was the get data in the base class and also the get data in the derived class, then the object will firstly access the get data of its derived class. In the case of constructor, the object goes to the base class first and then to the derived class constructor. But in case of common member functions, the object gets priority or take priority to its own class member functions first and then go to the derived class function. A program can declare object of both the base class and derived class. The two objects are independent of one another. The object of the base class will access the member function of its own base class, while the object of the derived class will access the member function of its derived class as well as the member function of its base class. But both the objects are independent to each other. Here we see the program coding and try to understand the scenario of this figure. You may see this figure here. First scenario is base class. We are creating this base class, and in base class A, instead of class A we are creating class 1. This is our class name 1. Here the class name is A, while here in the program coding our class name is 1. Private, protected and public sections are there in the base class. Private, protected and public section are there in the class number 1. This is our base class, and integer variable A is the private member of base class. Integer variable B is the protected member of the base class 1, and integer variable C is the public member of the base class 1. This A, B and C, these are three member data of our base class, and how the derived class and the object of the derived class can access this data of three different sections. This scenario we have coded with the name of class 1. We have coded this scenario, which we have circled with dotted red color. This is class 2. Here class B, public A, class 2, public 1. This is our inheritance syntax. Class 1 is our base class, which is publicly connected with the class 2. Class 2 is our derived class. Here class B is derived class and publicly connected with base class A. We are coding this red circle of the figure. Here in the public section we have defined a function void function1. This is a function which is of type void. In this function we have created a variable z. Z is our local variable belong to this function, and we want to assign the value of a to z. What is the value of a, and to which class this a belong? A belong with the base class 1, B belong with base class 1, C belong with base class 1. A is private member of class 1, B is a protected member of class 1, and C is the public member of class 1. Can we access the private member of class base class? Here no access. We cannot access the private member of our base class, either we have inherited this base class. The private members of a class can be accessed within the block of that class only. Those members cannot be accessed outside the block, either in the base class, derived class, or in the main program using the object of that class. While protected members become the protected member of our derived class, and we are accessing here work B. We can assign the value of B to Z. We can also assign the value public member, that is C, the value of C to Z. This statement will work, while the first statement will not work, because no class access its private member outside its own block. Here we have another scenario. This scenario, the class C, which is privately derived with the base class A. Here we have class 3. 3 is our class name, and it is privately derived with the base class 1, because our base class name was 1. Here in the block of our class 3 we have a public section, and in this public section we have a member function void function2. In this function we have a local variable int y. Y is our local variable, and we are assigning the value of public member of base class, and it is y is equal to a. Can we assign the value of a to y? No, because it is private member of base class, and private member cannot be accessed outside the class. Can we assign the value of protected member of the base class, that is b, to y? Yes, it will work, and this statement is correct. That is, the public member of the base class or the public member of the derived class, so we can access it. That is, y is equal to c. This will work here. Either class 2 is publicly connected with 1, the same access is here. That is, we cannot access A, but we can access the B and C, that is protected and public member here. And if we have derived class 3 from privately with 1, then the same class scenario, that is, we cannot access the private member of base class and its value, while we can access the protected and public member of the base class. This thing, the difference can be seen in the main program when we create the object of class 2, that is, this is class 2 derived class. This derived class object, here the derived class object is object B. Our B is our derived class, and object B is our derived class object, and it has accessed the public member of its own class, and also the public member of its base class. When we publicly derived with A. But here, when we privately derived A class and when we privately connect A class with our derived class C, then the object C has access to its own public section, but it does not access it did not access the members of the public member of its base class. This scenario is for object. So now we will see this scenario, that is the object of a class which is publicly derived with base class, the object of a class which is privately derived with the base class. This scenario can be seen in the main program, and this is our main program. In our main program coding, we are looking this scenario and blue and red scenario. Our class 2 is the derived class which is publicly derived with the base class 1, and we are creating the object of our derived class 2, S. S is the object of derived class which has 3 members, A, B, C. These members belongs to its base class, and int x. X is the variable of our main program, because this data does not belongs to the classes. Here S dot A, the object is trying to access the member of a base class A, which is the private member. No access, because private member cannot be accessed outside the class. So even the object of class 1 cannot access the private member of its class 1. How can the class 2, which is the derived class of 1, can access the private member of class 1? Its own object cannot access, then the derived class object cannot access the private member of base class. S dot A, no access. This statement cannot work. Here S dot B, the protected members behave just like the private for outside the class, either in the main program, while they have a little bit access to its derived class. But here it is main program, not the derived class, so the object of the derived class cannot access the protected member here in the main program, because they will behave just like private in the main program. So this statement will also not work. And S dot C, C is the public member of the base class, and the object of the class 2 can access to the public section of the base class, because here we can see the if a class is publicly derived with the base class, then its object can access the public section of its own class and also can access the public section of its base class. So C is here in the public section of the base class, so the object S can access those members which are public in the base class. Class 3 has an object T. This is the T object of the class 3, and class 3 is derived from class A privately, so it has the members A, B, C. These A, B, C members belongs to the base class, which will become the members of become the part of this object T, because B is our base class. Here T dot, because class 3 is derived privately, here you can see class C is derived privately with A. So this scenario, we are looking this scenario. Here T is just like object C. T dot A is the private member of the base class, so this object have no access to the private member of base class. T dot B, this is the protected member of the base class, and we are trying to access with the help of derived class object, but we cannot access. This statement will also not work, because the object of derived class, which is privately derived, cannot directly access. Dotted line shows that it cannot access directly to these three sections of the base class. So it will also not work. T dot C. We are trying to access the public members of the base class. C is the public member of the base class. T dot C cannot access the public member of the base class. Dotted line shows that it does not directly access. It can access through the function of its own class. If we access the C members here in the public section of its own class, then object can access those members, but it cannot access directly with the dot operator, with the help of dot operator, to the public section of base class. So all these are the restriction, because we have privately derived base class 1 with the derived class 3. So if we privately derived the base class 1, all the section will become private. So private members cannot be accessed outside the class. So all these three sections members A, B, C will not work here in the main program, and this object will not access them. Here this scenario has been represented with the dotted line. Dotted line mean does not access directly. No access, not allowed. This was the scenario, and this was the explanation of this diagram. This was the end of our lecture number 17. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.